Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the LS Blue YouTube channel. My name is Zach. If you've never been here before, we do a whole lot of LS Swapped S10 repairs, drag racing, nitrous drag racing. We break stuff, we fix it, all that good stuff that goes along with having fun. Today's video, I am going to be sharing different parts that I have on my truck, whether it be go fast parts or suspension parts or engine parts, just whatever I have on the truck. I have a couple people asking about reviews and whether or not these parts that I have are good. So I will talk you through what parts that I have and do a little quick review on them. So if you want to buy these parts, I will give you my opinion. I don't have a whole lot of parts on there to review, but I have some important ones that I think you guys would be interested in if you are doing an LS swap or if you're just wanting to make some power out of your LS engine. So let's get to it. All right, the first parts that I'm going to tell you about and do a little review is my Speed Engineering throttle body, 92mm throttle body. I ordered it off of Glenn's Auto Performance along with my C5 Corvette fuel regulator and this here throttle body, or not throttle body, throttle cable, cruise control delete for this Trailblazer intake. This throttle body, it's worked good. I'm told that the throttle blade screws in there come loose. I have checked them and they are tight. And this dude here, the PCV vent from the valve cover, it's a little loose. I don't know why, but you can see it's done a little leaking right there. But that's my only grievance with this throttle body. The Trailblazer Super Sport intake, it is a super nice upgrade, especially if you can get your hands on it. You'd have to do a little bit of rigging on your map sensor or do a pigtail swap because the stock truck pigtail, I believe, is a 5-pin and the Trailblazer intake is a 3-pin. So that would have to be addressed when you do that swap. I realized I noticed this thing was a very nice power increase. It's a little noisy on the startup. It makes that weird whining noise. I'll show you. But that goes away once the truck is warmed up and no issues there. So Trailblazer Super Sport intake, good in my book. The Speed Engineering throttle body is good in my book, but just keep an eye on the screws in it and the Glenn's Auto Performance throttle bracket there, the cable bracket and the Corvette regulator, good in my book. I'm running a BTR LS1 Stage 3 cam in this thing, along with the BTR 660 valve springs. And they're dual with the titanium hardware. They are very good. The cam absolutely screams. You've seen my other videos. Especially when it gets nitrous shoved on it, it really makes some good power. This engine with the Trailblazer intake, the 92mm throttle body, the long tubes, and the cam, stock 862 heads, made 380 horsepower with no nitrous, and then made 480 on the dyno with the 150 shot jets in it. But track numbers indicate it was making about 505 or so when I ran my 10-second pass. So BTR valve train parts, camshaft, I don't need to really tell you that, but they're good in my book, and I'm sure they're good in everybody's book. Next thing are my current performance motor mounts. I don't know if you can see them. They're in there. There they are. Those are my current performance motor mounts. They are the 2.8 poly mounts. They are excellent. You really can't see this side. I haven't had any issues. It doesn't vibrate really bad like you would expect to on those types of mounts, but they're really good and well worth the money. So the current performance motor mounts are good. As I've said in my other videos, I'm running Speed Engineering plug wires. They're the 90 degree or the 45 degree ends. They clear excellent for your long tubes and your steering shaft. So, and they're not very expensive either. They are very good in my book and well worth the money. This is my Nitrous outlet 4-bolt wet shot plate kit. It can go up to about 400 horsepower, but I obviously will not be going that high because this thing will probably scatter. There's the nitrous solenoid and the purge valve, and over here is the fuel valve and the fuel solenoid, and it comes off of the fuel rail here. And Nitrous outlet does not suggest that you go over 150 shot pulling off the fuel rail. They suggest you get a standalone fuel system for your nitrous. I'm also running a Ls mini progressive controller for controlling the system. It can control when my nitrous kicks on, what RPM, how long the ramp is, how long into the ramp before it gives the full shot, and when it shuts off. It also has the fuel pressure safety switch in it and all that. So the Nitrous outlet 4-bolt wet shot plate kit is good, and the Ls mini controller is also good. This little dude here is an ultra gauge. You can get them online for like $60. It tells the mile per hour, the RPM, throttle position, intake, mile per gallon, and your engine temperature. It has a bunch of other features, but these are just the ones that I have set up. It takes it a second. Click, click. Okay, you can go through here and set up all your gauges, gauge page, and see it has all that, all kinds of stuff. And then you can also check your trouble codes, engine codes. Let's see if I have any. I have one. I think that's a throttle position sensor code. I'll have to check that out. It tells you the codes. That was pending. This is active, so I'll have to address that. You can clear it. Well, clear it. See, it's gone now. So that would mean the check engine light is now off. Oops, I did it again. All right, get off. But this little dude, it refreshes really slow, and as I go full throttle, you can see there how long it takes to refresh. It's not the best in the world, but it does the job. I really don't have that much of an opinion on it. If you want to spend the money for it, you can, but if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't buy it, so it's whatever. My fuel cell is looking good so far. It's a little dirty, but other than that, I don't have any complaints. I have that there because the tank creates a little bit of a vacuum, and I'm almost out of fuel, but the cap's very nice, and it goes on real easy and locks very good. I shouldn't have to be buying any more fuel tanks. I do not recommend the tanks off of eBay. eBay fuel cells are a thumbs down for me. 100% thumbs down. They work good for, being there for a couple months, but after that, they move around, they slosh around, and the welds break on them. You could probably mount it up and do a little bit better job than I did, but they're thumbs down for me. This eBay switch here, I bought this a year and a half ago, and it is my master kill switch, or at least it was. It's not good. It's not enough draw. It doesn't have enough load rating for it. I don't necessarily know if it was my fault or if the switch was just bad, but eBay switches like that, thumbs down for me. Next time I'll get a racing switch for that, and that will be very soon, but it's a no-go for me. Now, the biggest part about this truck that keeps it together and keeps it going is the transmission. I have a fully built 4L60E transmission in it. It is an absolute monster. I love it. I have a lot of people saying that 4L60s won't hold. It has for me so far. I have about 15,000 miles on this transmission. It was built March or so of 2019. It's been out one time since then for the new torque converter, and when I pulled it out, I just had a couple new seals put in it, and I had it looked over and freshened up. Clutches look good, everything was good in it. So David Ford built 4060E in Lebanon, good, very good. Now the next thing that goes with the transmission is the Billet Specialties Vigilante 4000 stall converter. It is an absolute unit. I have no issues with it. It cut my 60-foot time from a 185 down to a 1.5, mid 1.5. I don't have excessive heat put in the transmission, because you would be able to tell if you did, because it would slip. The stall, it cruises very nice. You can tell it's a bigger stall, but it's not too tight where it's going to hinder you, but it's not too loose as where you're going to be lugging around. If the truck was a lot heavier, then yes, it would lug. But Vigilante stall, good to go. Now the next part is one that's down here. It's something that I'm sure everybody who does performance S10 work, drag racing purposes, does. It works wonders, and it is cow tracks. Mine are filthy. Absolutely filthy, because the truck's been a daily driver. They were probably one of the best investments I've made, other than my torque converter. My torque converter has been the best investment, followed by the camshaft, and then my cow tracks. So if you're looking for a good set of traction bars, Assassin makes some good ones, but cow tracks are awesome. Now disclaimer, I'm not a professional or anybody really special. I'm just telling you my opinion on what I've seen works with this old thing and what doesn't work. So far, it's been a really good setup. The parts I've used, everything has worked perfect, and that's just, this video is just what my opinion is on the parts that I have. That's pretty much going to wrap this video up. I've got a lot of other parts that I'm going to be ordering here soon. If you guys have any parts that you want me to check out, leave them in the comments. I'll go look at them and give you my opinion, and we'll go from there on that. But I have a lot more exciting news coming that's not truck related. Well, kind of truck related, but not quite. I'm not going to spoil anything, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you drop a comment, a like, subscribe. We'll see it. One thing about an Ls Swapped S10, you can do this.